My beloved child, hear my voice now. This is the moment when I myself come down to speak with you. It was not by chance that your eyes opened to this word. I chose this moment because your spirit stands at a crossroads and because your feet need to be set upon solid rock. I know the weight you carry. I know the anguish that has visited you at midnight. I see the problem that insists on stealing your peace. And today I make you a promise. I myself will resolve what seems impossible. Listen carefully, for this is an announcement from heaven over your life. Do not fear the raging waters, for when you pass through them, I will be with you. Do not fear the fire of affliction, for in it you will not be consumed, but refined. Each night of silence was a rehearsal for your new dawn. I did not move away, I did not forget you. On the contrary, I was hiding you from invisible enemies. I was preserving you from battles that were not yours. You thought you were forgotten, but you were guarded. My child, I have marked your story with my own finger. I wrote your name in my book, and nothing can erase the inscription that I myself made. What the world called failure, I see as preparation. What they called delay, I name as alignment. Do not waste energy trying to understand why doors closed, because every door that closed was an act of my care. I did not allow you to remain in places that would steal your destiny. I did not allow ties to imprison you in small paths. You thought it was rejection, but it was preservation. You thought it was abandonment, but it was construction. I saw your tears fall, and none of them were ignored. Each drop was gathered as seed before my throne. And now I tell you, the time of harvest has come. What was pain will be testimony. What was silence will be song. What was struggle will be authority over spiritual territories. Listen, for I speak with urgency. Do not minimize this moment. Do not treat it as just another word, for this is the breath of my spirit upon you. What was hidden now manifests. What seemed distant now draws near. You are crossing an invisible line. It is the threshold between what was and what will be. It is the birth of a new season. I know your soul is weary, but I say, it is not over yet. There is a portion of glory reserved for you that human eyes cannot see. While others disbelieve, I am raising you up in silence. I prepared you in hidden places to now place you in wide places. Many will see the work of my hands in you and will recognize that I am the Lord who guards and who fulfills promises. My child, do not question the silence, because the silence was my secret with you. In the days when you thought you were alone, I whispered to your soul. In the nights when you lay down without an answer, I was writing a new chapter. Do not fear the intervals, for intervals are bridges. They connect what you were to what you will be. Today, I remove the weight from your mind and place upon you the mantle of my peace. Take your eyes off what limits you and fix them on me, for I am greater than any diagnosis, greater than any debt, greater than any rejection. I am the one who makes a way in the desert and who makes rivers run in dry land. I tell you with authority, this problem that has stolen the sleep from your days will be resolved by my hand. Do not rise up in your own strength, for the battle is not yours. I myself will fight for you. The enemy that came against you on one path will flee by 7. The shame they tried to throw upon you will be turned into honor. What seemed like the end is, in truth, the beginning of a new cycle. Look around you with spiritual eyes, and you will see that I have already prepared people, resources, and answers to meet you at the right moment. Your life is not adrift. It is aligned with my eternal plan. Not even the mistakes you made were able to cancel the promise. I am the God who turns stumbles into steps, falls into testimony, wounds into a fountain of healing. Listen well. I did not call you just to survive. I called you to govern. The anointing I poured upon you is not for status, but for legacy. The authority I place in your voice is not for vanity, but for the deliverance of many. Your life will be an answer for generations. What I do in you today will echo in your house, in your family, and in your descendants. Therefore, rise up, shake off the dust of your soul. lift your shoulders, because I clothe you with new garments. The shame you carried will no longer dictate your future. The final word was not given by men, but by me, and I declare you will live to see the fulfillment of the promise. My beloved child, stop and listen. I am opening your spiritual ears now. Receive this seal. You have been marked by heaven. You no longer walk in uncertainty, because your identity is established in me. And every time doubt tries to imprison you, remember this day, remember this word, remember that I am the same who said, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you enter the fire, I will be there. Nothing will be able to consume what I have already consecrated. Now walk in faith, for your victory is not only promised, it is already decreed. I am the Lord, and I watch over my word to fulfill it. Did you realize that silence was not absence, but construction? There were days when your eyes filled with tears because you believed I did not hear you, but I was closer than you imagine. Every time you knelt and found no answer, I was strengthening you within. My silence was not neglect, it was strategy. I did not leave you alone. I hid you in my shelter so that nothing could steal what I was generating in you. The enemy did not understand what was happening, and that is why I covered you with the mantle of silence, like one who guards a precious seed in the soil until the time of harvest comes. While you cried out, I was forming you. While your heart was restless because of the delay, I was shaping your structure to withstand the greatness of what is coming. I could not release it before, because your shoulders were not yet prepared. You did not yet have enough strength to carry the weight of the blessing I determined. So, in each silence, I was raising foundations. I was consolidating your faith so that when the promise arrived, it would not become a burden, but a testimony. Child, understand this. Silence was not empty. Silence was my secret workshop. There, I carved your character, treated your hidden wounds, healed areas no one knew. While you thought nothing was happening, I was already moving pieces in invisible places. People were removed from your path. Opportunities were closed because they would not make you flourish. Roads were blocked so that you would not get lost. You did not see it with your eyes, but I was building. There are moments when I quiet my voice so that you may learn to hear your spirit. The noise of quick answers leaves no space to discern depth. But when silence settles, the soul is confronted and the heart learns to rest in me. On the days when it seemed to you that nothing was moving, it was there that I taught you to walk by faith and not by sight. I know that many times silence wounded like a sword. I know that questions burned in your heart and you found no explanation. But I want you to understand, every question you held inside your chest was like a root deepening into the soil of trust. And now, when the rain comes, you will not be toppled because you grew deep roots in dependence on me. My beloved child, I was in the silence of your midnight. I was in the weight of your waiting. I was present in your inner struggle. And today I reveal to you, that period when you believed you were abandoned was the time when I worked the most in your life. I was aligning your story with my plan. I was removing what would not serve in the new. I was preparing ground so that the promise would flourish without being suffocated. Silence was the proof of your faith. It was not punishment, it was training. It was not distance, it was preservation. You thought you were being forgotten, but you were being guarded like a rare jewel. And now I tell you, what was built in secret will be manifested in public. What no one saw flourish in silence will be revealed before many. I hid your life in my shadow, and now I bring it to light. I let you walk through the desert, but in the desert I poured down manna. I allowed you to feel thirst, but from the rock I made water flow. I let you feel lack so that you would learn to value fullness. I let you experience waiting so that you would not waste the harvest. Do not despise silence, because in it I revealed who I am. It was in silence that you realized your strength was not enough. It was in silence that you discovered your faith did not depend on visible signs. It was in silence that you learned to trust even without understanding. And it is this trust that sustains you now before the promise that is about to be born. Today I remind you, every tear that fell in the time of silence was recorded. No prayer was lost. No cry was in vain. Silence was not denial. It was preparation. I was answering even before you spoke, but I needed to align all things so that the answer would arrive at the exact time. I did not delay, I did not forget, I did not fail, I simply built in secret. And now, when the veil is removed, you will see that nothing was standing still. What seemed like delay was strategy. What seemed empty was fullness being generated. What seemed like absence was my presence disguised as silence. Child, lift your eyes and trust. Silence has already fulfilled its purpose. Now your faith has deep roots. Now your heart is aligned. Now your steps can carry the weight of the promise. I am with you, and everything I built in silence will be revealed as testimony of my faithfulness. You are not broken, you are being redefined. I know that many times you believed that your pieces could no longer be put back together, but I do not see you as someone destroyed. I see you as someone in the process of transformation. Every pain you endured was not to annihilate you, it was to shape you. Every tear that fell was not wasted, it was an instrument of purification. Your story is not marked by failures, it is marked by rebirths. I did not allow you to be destroyed, because within you I carry something as a precious treasure, and that treasure must be refined. Every rejection you faced was not a sign of abandonment. It was a redirection that I prepared. I closed doors that seemed good, but would not sustain the fullness of what is to come. I removed people who seemed like safe companions, but would have dimmed the brightness of your identity. I cut ties that would not give you space to grow. You thought it was loss, but it was deliverance. I, the Lord, set you apart for something greater, and that is why I did not allow you to be entangled in small paths. You believed you were forgotten when the no arrived, but I was leading you to the yes that would transform your story. You were saddened by every delay, but the delays were shields against hidden traps. I do not want you to merely survive. I want you to reign in authority. Your calling is not to always live on the margins, but to be at the center of what I designed for you. I did not call you to be a bystander in your own life. I called you to walk in authority and to be a prophetic voice in the midst of your generation. Understand, redefinition hurts because it requires letting go, but it is necessary so that you can carry the promise. I do not remove something from you to impoverish you. I remove it because I want to enrich you with something much greater. When a door closes before your eyes, a horizon opens that you cannot yet see. I did not close doors by chance. I closed them because your journey needs new paths, new territories, new opportunities that are already prepared. What wounded you is becoming the foundation of your authority. What brought you shame will be used to lift others. The words that diminished you will be reversed into a testimony of overcoming. Do not allow your mind to remain trapped in memories of rejection, because I have already redefined each one of them. What was pain will turn into power. What was a fall will become a step. What was loss will manifest as deliverance. I was present in every moment when you felt your soul burdened, and I tell you, it was not in vain. I allowed you to walk through valleys because in the valleys I opened springs. I let you experience moments of loneliness so that you would discover my presence as a faithful companion. I did not want you to believe in your own strength, but to depend entirely on me. And now, when you look back, you will see that the footprints that carried your journey were not yours, they were mine. My child, do not interpret pain as a sentence. It was part of the treatment. The vessel does not become strong without going through the furnace. Gold is not purified without passing through fire. In the same way, your life could not reach authority without going through the process of redefinition. I did not break you, I rebuilt you. I did not abandon you, I repositioned you. I did not diminish you, I prepared you for something greater than you can imagine. The inner redefinition I am working in you is not to humiliate you, it is to raise you up. It is so that you can carry a weight of glory that human eyes cannot comprehend. I took you out of environments that limited your vision so that I could place you in places where your faith would be expanded. I uprooted you from scenarios that diminished you so that you would be planted in fertile soil. Now the roots you grew in the midst of pain will sustain fruits that will not be shaken by storms. Do not despise the process. Every time you were rejected, I was making room for true acceptance. Every time you were diminished, I was preparing the ground for your exaltation. Every time you were silenced, I was amplifying your voice for the right time. Your life did not end in rejection. It is only beginning in redefinition. I did not allow your wounds to remain open without purpose. Every mark will be a testimony. Every scar will be a sign of my faithfulness. The redefinition I work in you is not to erase your story. It is to give it new meaning. What seemed like defeat will become a platform. What seemed like loss will be victory. What seemed like the end will be a new beginning. My child, understand, you are not broken. I see you whole, even when your eyes cannot see. I see you strong, even when you feel fragile. I see you prepared, even when you still believe you are incapable. Because I do not define you by what you went through, I define you by what I declared over you. My word is greater than any human sentence, and I have already declared you a conqueror. Remain confident, because what now hurts will be remembered as victory. What today seems like loss will be revealed as the greatest preservation. Redefinition is not the end. It is the announcement of the new. I am with you, and soon you will see that everything you endured was leading you to the exact place I prepared. Listen, for I am also speaking through your intuition and your dreams. They are not merely random movements of the mind. They are signs that my spirit breathes into you. Every impression that is born in the silence of your heart is like a seed I planted within you. And every dream that touches you with intensity carries fragments of my will. Nothing I have revealed to you inwardly is an illusion. Everything is a sign that I have already traced a path before you. When I close your eyes at night, many times I open the window of the invisible so that you may perceive there is more beyond what your natural eyes can see. I have been speaking to you through details that seem too small for your reason, but that, in truth, are spiritual keys. When a strong sense of peace invades your heart in the face of a decision, it is my voice whispering that this is the way. When a persistent uneasiness stirs in your soul in front of something that seems favorable to human eyes, it is my hand holding you back and preventing you from falling into traps. The intuition that moves you is not chance, it is direction. It is the way I have found to guide you, even when external circumstances try to confuse you. My child, I know that many times you doubted these inner perceptions because they did not align with logic or with what others said. But I tell you, within you is the breath of my presence, and it is through it that I have guided your steps. When your spirit becomes restless without explanation, it is because I have already seen the danger, and I am calling you to stop. When your spirit rejoices without apparent reason, it is because I have already anticipated the favor that is on the way. Learn to listen to the gentle voice that speaks to you inwardly, for in it is the wisdom that surpasses all human reasoning. Also in your dreams, I have deposited messages. Dreams that may seem to bring confusing images often carry symbols that reveal spiritual realities. I showed you paths opening, and that is a promise of expansion. I showed you battles, and that was a warning for intercession. I showed you deep waters, and that was a sign of a plunge into more intense revelations. Nothing is without purpose. I speak in the language of symbols so that your spirit may awaken to dimensions that your mind could not withstand immediately. There are nights when I woke you up suddenly, and it was not by chance. It was I calling your spirit to perceive the movement of heaven. There were moments when your heart raced in the middle of a dream and you awoke confused, but that was my way of marking in you the seriousness of what was revealed. Do not despise your dreams, because many of them are like maps I have drawn for the days yet to come. I teach you to understand that intuition and dreams do not compete with my word, but confirm what I have already revealed in secret. They are like echoes of eternal truths breathed into you. When I want to prepare you for something, many times I first release it in the form of an inner impression, so that your heart may be trained to discern. Then I confirm with signs, and finally I make it real before your eyes. Do not ignore when I speak in subtle ways. My voice is not only in the thunder, but also in the whisper. Do not always expect something grand, because many times direction comes in the form of gentleness. Learn to value the detail, because in the detail I hide great secrets. A word that touches your spirit in the middle of a reading, a phrase that resonates strongly when someone speaks to you, a simple dream that insists on returning to memory. All these are directions I give you so that you may walk in safety. Beloved child, your journey does not depend on the approval of many, but on obedience to my voice. I have already guided you this far, and I will continue guiding you. Do not fear when reason cannot explain, because I do not work limited by logic. I am the God who announces things that do not yet exist and makes them happen. If your intuition leads you to trust in me when everything seems uncertain, know that it is my spirit confirming that I am ahead. I invite you to rest in the revelations I have given you. Do not be trapped by the fear of making mistakes, because when your heart is in me, even your detours I transform into successes. I will not allow choices made in sincerity to become your ruin. I am your Father. I care for your steps. I watch over your path. What I have given you in dreams is a promise, and what I have given you as intuition is direction. Move forward with courage, because I am at your side in every decision. And when you feel you do not have enough clarity, simply quiet your soul and let the silence speak. Many times inner silence will be my confirmation that it is not time to act. At other times, an explosion of peace will be the sign that the path is free. Learn to walk with these signs, because they are marks of my continuous care. My child, I have already traced before you a road your feet did not know. I have already prepared places you have not yet seen. I have already aligned connections your mind cannot foresee. And every time your heart aligns with intuition, and every time a dream brings direction, remember, it is proof that you do not walk alone. It is my seal upon your life, the confirmation that I am leading every detail. Do not fear the invisible, because the invisible is where I work most. Learn to trust what I show you within, because that is the reflection of my spirit in you. What I reveal inwardly is more secure than any external word, because it comes directly from my heart. Walk with courage, because what I planted in your intuition and what I revealed in your dreams is the road that leads you to the fulfillment of my plan. Now is the time to begin again. I know how much your heart has gotten used to carrying weights that were never yours. I know how you learn to hold on to what no longer brings life out of fear of losing everything. But listen to my voice. Letting go of what no longer serves you is not defeat, it is victory. Everything that ends before you is not a sign that you were abandoned, but that I am opening space for something greater. When I remove relationships that do not add, when I remove habits that corrode your essence, when I take away burdens that drain your energy, I do not do it to empty you, but to fill you with newness. I know that letting go hurts because you attach value to what was once part of your journey. But understand, It is not about devaluing your history, but about opening clearings for what is to come. Many times, you hold on to the past because you believe that without it, there will be no future. But I tell you, while you insist on holding on to what I have already completed, you delay what I want to release. It is time to let go. It is time to open your hands, because only free hands can receive what is new. Do not cling to what I have already completed, because I am the God who always does more. What I have already lived with you has not been lost. It was foundation. But you cannot remain in cycles that have already ended. The manna in the desert did not last for 2 days. It was provision for each morning. In the same way, there are things that had value in one season, but cannot be carried into the next. If you try to keep them, they rot. If you try to insist, they suffocate. I do not want you to continue feeding yourself with leftovers when I have prepared tables of abundance. Relationships that have lost their connection to your purpose will naturally drift away. Do not weep for what I am removing, because what remains is what sustains your identity and strengthens your journey. I do not take away without giving something better. I do not end without having already prepared the beginning of something greater. Learn to trust in me more than in your attachment to your own memories. Son, letting go is not abandoning. Letting go is a prophetic act of power. When you decide to release, you declare that you trust in me more than in what you hold in your hands. When you let go of what no longer brings life, you proclaim that your hope is not in what has passed, but in what I am releasing. Letting go is faith in motion. It is the silent cry of trust that says, I believe that my God has more for me. I am leading your life into new beginnings. Your tears were not in vain. They watered the soil of the future. What seemed like an end will be remembered as the day when I opened a new door. Do not cling to the ashes of something that has already burned, because I am giving you living embers that will light your path. What was weight will fall away. What was chain will break. What was prison will open. I want you to understand, true freedom is not gaining more. It is letting go of what does not serve you. When you free up space, I fill it with my presence. When you release ties that drag you down, I connect you to alliances that lift you up. When you abandon habits that drain your energy, I fill you with discipline and wisdom to live in fullness. Son, your new season cannot be inhabited with old structures. It is like new wine that cannot be poured into old wineskins, because it will be lost. I am renewing your mind. I am changing your practices. I am inviting you to walk in lightness. I do not want you to remain trapped in guilt, emotional debts, or ties of pain. It is time to walk with free steps, because what is before you does not go with chains. I am the God who calls you to look forward. If you look only backward, your heart will remain trapped. What has passed no longer dictates your future. I do not define you by what you lost, but by what you are about to receive. You are not a prisoner of old stories. You are heir to eternal promises. Therefore, lift your head and leave behind what does not build you. If fear of emptiness arises in your heart, remember, I never leave spaces unoccupied. Every area I empty is space I prepare to fill with my glory. Every tie I remove opens space for a connection that will take you further. Every cycle I end opens the door to a season of multiplication. Do not fear emptiness, because in emptiness I create new things. Now breathe deeply and give me what no longer serves you. Do not carry the weight of memories that only bring pain. Do not hold on to voices that no longer reflect who you are. Do not retain what I have already removed, because when you release, the new flows. And the new that I have for you is not just a small change. It is a repositioning that will transform your entire life. Today, I tell you, the act of letting go is the key that opens the door to the new. What seemed like loss will be victory. What seemed like farewell will be rebirth. What seemed like emptiness will be fullness. Do not walk looking backward. Move forward, because the road is before you, and I have already prepared it with care. The future I designed is greater than any memory of the past. I am the Lord who makes all things new. I am the one who erases the marks of yesterday and writes chapters of hope. I'm your God, and the new I give you is not just a restart. It is the beginning of a story marked by the abundance of my love. Release, trust, walk, because the best is yet to come. Trust in me. What today seems empty is not a sign of abandonment, but a sacred clearing I prepared so you could see with new eyes. I removed noises, I silenced voices, I closed accesses that distracted you because I wanted your heart to be able to perceive my gentle touch. The emptiness that has frightened you is, in fact, the space where I am building something deep. You look and think nothing is moving, but I tell you that in silence, everything is being aligned. I am placing each piece in the right place, connecting people, opening paths, orchestrating encounters that will transform your journey. It is not in human effort that you will find answers. Your anxiety does not open doors. Your haste does not bring miracles ahead of time. But the stillness of a surrendered heart is the key that activates my direction. When you decide to quiet your mind and simply trust, I manifest myself. Calmness is not a sign of inertia. It is a sign of trust. In calmness, I breathe clarity. In trust, I reveal direction. I do not require from you effort to achieve the impossible. I only require surrender so that I may do what only I can accomplish. Beloved child, I have never lost control. While your mind wrestles with questions, I already have the answers. While your soul tries to understand the path, I have already drawn the road. I do not walk behind you trying to fix mistakes. I walk ahead, preparing exits. Nothing escapes my sight. Nothing evades my rule. I am the one who sustains all things by the word of my power. If you feel insecure, lean on me, for I am the solid rock that cannot be shaken. I know it is difficult to wait when your eyes see no result, but trust in my invisible hand. Even if you cannot perceive it, it is sustaining your steps. I have already delivered you from accidents you did not see. I have already protected you from attacks you did not perceive. I have already kept you from falls that never even happened. Many times you thought you were strong on your own, but it was my hand that lifted you. Many times you thought it was luck that made you escape situations, but it was my care that kept you. You do not realize it, but I have already been present in every detail of your walk. I saved you from words that could have destroyed your heart. I closed doors that would have imprisoned you in greater pain. I placed in your life people who were balm at the right time. I moved circumstances that seemed against you, but that turned into favor. This is proof that you are not alone, that I have always been with you. I want you to learn to rest. Resting is not giving up, it is trusting. Resting is not abandonment, it is surrender. When you stop fighting with your own hands and decide to rest in me, I step in. Rest is the purest expression of faith because it declares that you believe I am sufficient. It is not through much doing that you will see change. It is through much trusting. My child, do not fear the intervals. Do not fear the silences. They are not purposeless emptiness. They are spaces where I speak in a different way. I want you to learn to recognize my presence, not only when everything happens as you desire, but also when it seems that nothing moves. Because even when everything seems stopped, I am active. Even when you do not hear noise, I am working in silence. My presence is your sustenance. Do not look only for external signs, because I am closer than you imagine. I am in the gentle breath that calms your heart. I am in the peace that makes no sense to human eyes. I am in the invisible embrace that surrounds your soul in the moments of greatest pain. If you pay attention, you will realize that I never left your side. I am the God who sustains the universe, but I am also the one who sustains your breath. I am the creator of the stars, but I am also the one who wipes away your tears. Nothing is too small to escape my attention. Nothing is too great to resist my power. When you surrender in trust, you connect yourself to the source that never runs out. I do not want you to carry the weight of controlling everything. I did not create you to live anxious, but to walk in trust. Give me your concerns, cast your burdens upon me, because I care for you. Do not try to solve on your own what belongs to my realm. What is impossible for you is simple for me. I only need you to release control and allow me to act. Child, trust. I am your refuge when everything shakes. I am your sustenance when everything seems to fall. I am your direction when there is no clarity. I am your peace when the world is agitated. I will not let you be confused. I will not let you be lost. I will guide you step by step, and each step will reveal that I have always been leading. The emptiness that frightens you is, in fact, the space of miracle. The silence that bothers you is, in fact, the setting for revelation. The waiting that hurts is, in fact, the process of construction. Trust, because while your heart surrenders, I am already acting. While you rest, I work. While you give yourself, I move mountains in your favor. Do not forget, my invisible hand sustains you. You do not see it, but you stand because I hold you. You do not feel it, but you walk because I lead you. You do not understand it, but you overcome because I go ahead. Nothing can bring you down when I am your foundation. Remain firm, trust in me, and you will see that every space of emptiness will be filled with my glory. Every silence will be transformed into an answer. Every waiting will be rewarded. I am the Lord who sustains, and as long as you remain in me, nothing will be lacking. The time has come to act. I have already deposited in you everything you need to move forward. I have already taught you through silence. I have already healed your wounds in intimacy. I have already released revelations in your dreams, and I have already opened clearings for the new. Now it is time to rise and walk. The knowledge I have given you is not just for reflection, it is for daily practice. It is not enough to accumulate understanding, it must be lived in obedience. Every instruction that came from my mouth has the power to transform your routine, but it only bears fruit when it is put into action. Do not return to old patterns. Do not go back to prisons I have already broken. Do not repeat behaviors I have already proven to be traps for your soul. I want your life to be an expression of visible transformation, a reflection that my word did not remain only in your heart, but became practice in your steps. Honor the day of stillness, because in stillness I speak louder. Learn to value the moments when I call you to stop, because these moments are not a waste of time, they are an investment in wisdom. Honor my presence in every detail of your day, not only in moments of prayer, but in everything you do. Honor me when you choose words of life, when you choose actions that reflect who I am, when you decide to act with generosity, even in the midst of scarcity. Honoring my presence is walking with the awareness that I am in you and with you every second. Every decision aligned with my voice will accelerate your journey. You do not need to run in despair. You do not need to force situations, because obedience generates shortcuts that human strength cannot create. I have already prepared connections that will only manifest when your attitude aligns with what I have revealed. I have already traced paths that will only open when your choice honors the direction I have given you. The fulfillment of promises does not depend on your haste, but on your consistency in practicing what you already know. My child, I did not call you only to listen, but to be a living testimony. Your hands were created to build, your mouth to release words that heal, your feet to walk in paths of righteousness. What I have placed in you is not to remain hidden, it is to be shared. The revelation you have received is not only for your edification, it is to multiply in lives around you. Do not hide what I have given you. Do not silence what I have already confirmed in your spirit. Act, speak, build, because it is in practice that my kingdom is manifested through you. You think you are not ready yet, but I tell you that readiness does not come from the absence of flaws, it comes from obedience. With every step of faith, I strengthen your structure. With every act of courage, I expand your authority. Do not wait until everything is perfect to begin, because perfection will come along the way. I shape you in movement. I transform you as you obey. Do not remain paralyzed by doubt, because the time to act is now. Do not return to old cycles. I have already broken chains that kept you imprisoned. I have already closed doors that fed patterns of destruction. Do not go back to what I have already set you free from, because that will delay the harvest that is ready to be delivered. Walk in newness of life, because every time you act differently than before, every time you choose faith instead of fear, every time you decide on forgiveness instead of resentment, you are breaking invisible chains. I want you to understand, small actions have great value. It is not only grand gestures that reveal faith, but the simple choices of everyday life. The way you respond to provocation, how you deal with offense, how you use your words when no one is watching, all this is practice that reveals in whom you trust. Do not despise simplicity, because in the details I find space to reveal my glory. Every choice aligned with what I have already shown you is a key that opens new doors. When you decide to sow where you do not see immediate return, you are activating a future harvest. When you decide to give up what seems advantageous to human eyes to obey my voice, you are releasing invisible favor that will become reality in your path. Every obedient decision generates divine connections, brings the right people closer, removes distractions, and accelerates your destiny. I am calling you to a life of constant practice. Do not remain only in desire, but turn desire into attitude. Do not stop at the dream, but turn dream into action. Do not remain only in prayer asking for direction, but act according to the direction I have already given you. I do not need to repeat what I have already spoken. I expect you to walk in what you already know. The obedience you practice today will open doors for greater instructions tomorrow. Beloved child, the promise is already released, but it depends on your response. There is no more time for indecision. What you have in your hands is enough to begin. I have already given you gifts, talents, and opportunities. Do not despise what seems small, because it is in the small that I reveal my greatness. Use what you have now, and you will see that I will multiply it. Do not wait to have everything to act, because multiplication comes in movement. I am with you in every step. If you obey my voice in practice, nothing will be able to stop the flow of what I have prepared. The heavens will move in your favor, the earth will respond to your faith, and people will see that I am with you. You will not be confused, because whoever walks in obedience walks under my light. Therefore, rise and put into practice what you already know. Act with courage, act with faith, act with constancy, because every step in obedience brings you closer to the fulfillment of what I have already prepared. I am the Lord who promised, and I myself will fulfill it. Do not seek external proof of what your spirit has already recognized, because within you I have already deposited the necessary conviction. You do not need others to confirm what I have already whispered to your heart. What I planted in you is greater than any human opinion, and the truth you carry does not depend on applause or recognition. I have called you to walk in authenticity, so that each step may be a reflection of what I placed in the deepest part of your being. Authenticity is the key that frees you from living according to the expectations of others and leads you to live according to my will. I did not form you to be a copy. I formed you to be a unique expression of my grace. You do not need to imitate paths nor replicate patterns that others have followed, because your journey is unique. I lift you up so that you may be a testimony of how I act in a personal and intimate way. Each morning is a new invitation to walk in clarity, to align your thoughts with the truth that already dwells in you. Do not allow yourself to be bound by masks, because I know your essence, and it is in it that I place my strength. You were not created to seek status. You were chosen to carry an eternal legacy. What I pour over you is not limited to your lifetime. It will reach generations. I want you to understand that your acts of obedience today will become seeds of transformation in the future. A word released in faithfulness is never lost. A choice made in integrity does not disappear. Everything you do in authenticity will be multiplied beyond your own story. Beloved child, your life will be a living testimony that heaven still speaks. Many around you doubt, others mock, some even despise your faith. But I tell you, your constancy in living the truth will be a silent answer that no one will be able to refute. It is not by the strength of your words that you will prove my faithfulness, but by the consistency of your steps. When your practice reflects the truth you already carry, no one will be able to deny that I, the Lord, am faithful. Do not allow insecurity to lead you to seek external signs to validate what I have already confirmed in secret. When you wait for human validation, you weaken the trust I have planted in you. Learn to rest in the certainty that comes from my Spirit, because He never fails. Men change their opinions, but my word remains. Today I tell you, live without fear of being who I have called you to be. Authenticity does not mean perfection, it means transparency. I do not expect you to be flawless, I expect you to be true. Do not hide your struggles, do not mask your weaknesses, because it is in them that my grace is perfected. When you choose to be authentic, you open space for others to find the courage to also live free. Your truth not only liberates you, but also inspires others to rise up. The legacy I prepare for you is not based on the accumulation of things, but on the impact of your faithfulness. Many seek riches, but I teach you to seek permanence. What is accumulated in the world passes away, but what is built in authenticity remains forever. The inheritance you will leave will not be measured by possessions, but by the echo of your actions in the hearts of many. Each choice you make today builds steps for those who will come after you. Each prayer you make in silence opens a path for your descendants. Each act of generosity plants seeds that will bloom at the right time. I want you to understand, your legacy will not only be a memory, it will be continuity. What I begin in you will not end with you. It will extend like a river that overflows, reaching places you will never imagine. Do not belittle your journey. Do not compare yourself to others, because your value is not in immediate results, but in the fruit that will remain. Many who seem great in the eyes of men will vanish with time, but those who walk in truth will have a voice that will echo for generations. I want your life to be more than a story. I want it to be a sign of heaven. My child, walk in clarity. Each morning is a new opportunity to reaffirm who you are in me. Rise without fear, because I have already confirmed you. Do not seek validation where there is no root. Seek in me, because I am the source of your identity. Do not live bound by labels, because no label defines what I have declared. Your life already carries my seal, and no one can erase that seal. Your authenticity will be the strength that opens doors that no one could open for you. Men may try to silence your voice, but when your life reflects truth, I myself open paths before you. What I have established in you cannot be erased, because it does not depend on circumstances. When you choose to walk in authenticity, I myself defend your cause. Child, I want you to know your legacy has already begun. Do not wait until the end to perceive it. Every choice to live in truth is already building the story you leave behind. Every moment you refuse to negotiate your faith is already building walls of testimony. Every time you choose integrity over appearance, you are already erecting an invisible monument before my throne. And at the right time, all will see that your life is proof that I am faithful. Because you were not raised for your own glory, you were raised to reveal the glory of my name. You were not chosen to be the center, you were called to be a channel. What I do in you does not end with you, it will reach many. Therefore, do not forget, living in authenticity is the greatest act of worship. Being who I made you to be is your greatest offering. It is not in much speaking, it is in much living that faith is proven. And when your life reflects the truth I planted in you, it will be a living testimony that heaven still speaks and that I, the Lord, am faithful.